go gym?
I'm meeting a bird. I've just been gym.
What bird you meeting?
You don't know her, G. Just something I pulled on live. Just
She lame.
yeah, she's nice. She's black. My first
I
black.
swear.
Yeah, she's
Bit
fit.
you.
You'd find her fit though. She's like, you know them black things that look white?
That Paul says it all. The poor chap's looking like, are you allowed to say that on live, mate? You know what I mean? You're not supposed, especially with this Me Too movement, political correctness. I'm not too sure you can start saying black people are supposed to be looking white. I'm not too sure, mate.
Nah, you know, like with the facial expressions, like, you know, like...
No, seriously, what does he mean about these facial expressions? Are we talking about anime? What is he talking about? A black person who has white people facial expressions. What? And the poor white guy's like, I don't want to sound racist, but this kind of does sound racist.
So what does that consist of, mate?
No,
What does that consist of?
This guy's digging himself a hole, mate. He's digging himself a hole.
Black things that look white.
Ones that ain't
What black things look white?
Things look white, mate.
No, bruv, it's just the ones that ain't coming like Drogba, bro.
And what's so funny is that he's half black. Bloody miracle, that is. Ridiculous, mate.
No, bro, she ain't coming like Drogba, bro.
Let him speak.
Fit women, you know. I was simply saying.
The thing is, let's call a spade a spade. An attractive woman, aka a fat woman, is the equivalent to a broke man. What do we mean by that? But the options that an attractive woman has is pretty much the same options that a broke guy has. Actually, no, because to be fair, that's how good it is being a woman. Is that guys who are that desperate would probably bang a fat chick, and that's the sad thing about it. So, but I don't know why girls get so upset. They get so disgruntled by these comments. But in the same breath, they'll say, "Hey, I'm the type of girl who only wants a guy who's above 6 foot." Tell me, doesn't that sound like you're being superficial? Doesn't that sound like you're being the same thing that you accuse us of being? Which is what? Superficial.
A fat woman is the, you know...
Let him speak.
What a broke dude is.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Denford, I cannot keep quiet.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
If you saw this, what would you do? I think they knew it was a prank because, you know, we live in the world of YouTube, so, you know, everything's a prank. So, but I probably wouldn't be laughing. I'd probably be calling the authorities. I knew snitch. They knew they had to know.
It's okay, that's fine.
So this guy is called Neon, right? So right now they're talking about the fact that his girl that he's, you know, he sees himself with or keeps being with on stream is this girl who has OnlyFans. And it got to a point where Sneeko, again, if Sneeko is the one that's giving you good advice, your life is truly fucked up. So anyway, check it out. He was concerned.
You know exactly what you're supposed to do, but you're just getting egged on because the viewers are there. Think about what you're supposed to do. Do you want to say this? Do you want to deal with a girl who has OnlyFans? Yes or no? Right now, just make the demand. She said she wants to talk about it in private. You're going to have the same conversation now that you're going to have in private. Yes or no? Delete your OnlyFans now. If you delete it right now, I can stay with you. If not, it's over. That's it. What else do you need to think about? How much more scrolling do you have to do? How much more sipping do you need to see from the kick chat?
The thing is, like, guys, a woman will only go as far as you let her in the terms of disrespect. If you allow, I think anybody, to be fair, but especially women, because I think men have an inclination to allow women to get away with murder, especially when they're attractive, right? So we have a situation with this guy, without his fame, without his status, we know, looking at him, he would never be able to get the girl that he's with. However, he has now forgotten what he has become, which is an internet social icon. So he doesn't need to take this from this woman. But that fear of what he probably had when he was younger, that he could never get an attractive girl. It's what is holding him, what's keeping him holding on to this girl who truly does not respect him.
Done, that's it.
Don't be this guy.
Bam.
You're tweaking,
Did she?
Sneeko.
I don't need on a
So
tape.
fake.
See, you're tweaking. Did she say, "Oh, Sneaker, you're being wrong"? He doesn't mind me having an OnlyFans. No, she just insults him. That's what women do. They have a tendency, a capacity to, if they do not respect what you're saying or agree with what you're saying, they'll just insult the messenger. To be fair, it works, but the fact is what I said wrong? No.
Bro, Dia, why are you still thinking and scratching? Like, what are you still pondering? It's that simple.
No, because it's not, Sneeko, and you know that. You've been there through it all.
It's a simple question, Dia. Do you want to date a girl?
I don't get it why it irks me that a man should go through this. I guess it irks me because it's what women say about men. That we are so horrible, that we have no compassion, that we are so violent, belligerent. But yet, where would a woman do this for a man, where a man would disrespect her in front of people, do things that would make her seem as if he's not hers, right? And the fact that she's above him, like financially and in status, where in the world will a woman endure what this man is going through? That is why it irks me. It would be fine if it was an even playing field, but it isn't. And the funny thing is, we're fine with that. But don't come into our faces, women, and say that we don't go through things too.
No.
He already said that.
So end it. If he doesn't delete it right now, you're done. Why are you gonna look like I know stick in a relationship that you don't want to be in?
I am so upset.
So this man, you have to understand, this man went to war. And this poor chap went to war in Second World War, fighting for freedom and for our own salvation. And when you look around the Me Too movement, when you look around the idea of fluid sexuality, when you look around with what the world has become, this is why the man is saying this is not what he fought for. And to be honest, if I was him, I would say the same thing. It wasn't what I fought for.
That the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain.
Makes me
Our
want to
country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. It's just not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for.
It's emotional, even me, just seeing his face, because he was young once. We have all lived. You know, when you go to graveyards, remember that we have all lived. All the fear, the struggles that you have faced, everybody that has existed has felt that. And the fact that he looks back at the times where he was fighting a war with people who were willing to kill him, and that he saw all of his brothers, and some of his brothers die on the battlefields, fighting for an idea of freedom. And here we are. What did he really fight for?
Just not it.
I believe in splitting the bill. Because you can't be feminist until the
Yep.
check comes.
And this is how it comes. When it comes to feminism, it feels like women pick up what they want and they drop and they discard what they don't want. There are ideas of feminism that women want, but there are other ideas that women discard. And they do it so easily. It's so funny how they what's the word? They pick and choose what they want in their ideology of feminism. But men, we must do what we have to do at all times.
I believe in splitting the bill. Because you can't be feminist until the check comes. Feminism, equality, is not a buffet. You don't get to pick and choose how many people are on your roster.
I guess like 4, but I kind of...
And this thing really, really irks me deeply, because the highest rate of suicidality is men, specifically white men. And we see these women, they say that I don't need a man, even though the world and the life that you live is only available to you due to the men that have come before us. That is fact. And she says she doesn't need a man, right? And she says, oh, so why are you talking to these men? Because, it makes me feel good. So these are two things that we've just seen. So For a woman to feel good in this society, she has to have validation for a man. So a woman cannot stand in isolation by herself and feel good. Second thing is that the fact that she is toying with these men's emotions and thinking that it's a game, even though men are suffering from the highest times of depression in history, she thinks it's a funny game. But when we say something about what men go through, we're somehow being misogynistic. We're not saying women don't go through their own struggles and their own pain, but by God, do women toy with us in ways that we can never toy with women.
I just cut one off, so.
You just cut one off, so now it's 3?
How do you have a roster, but you don't really want any of them?
I do want them, but like.
But you don't.
It's just for the ego boost. Like, it's
Okay.
just to have a little fun.
It's for the ego boost.
Partially.
So they're just there for validation.
Yeah.
Men are so superficial.
Would you date a guy?
So wait. You heard what she said. Men are so superficial, right? We think women are logical. Hear this.
Shorter than you?
Absolutely not. I'd at least 6'2".
At least 6'2".
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yes, you heard that right. She said men are so superficial, and the next thing she came out of her mouth was a contradiction. She's being hypocritical. The fact is, what women desire from men is entirely superficial. The idea that we must have status, the idea that we must be a provider, the idea that we must be a calm stone in the chaos of their emotions. Isn't that all superficial traits? Regardless of how you see it, it's still superficial. But yet we are constantly paraded and made fun of because we have standards. Women clearly have standards. What is wrong with having standards? The fact is, it gets to a point that when we talk about these type of topics, people get irritated, they get pissed off, they want to get off my YouTube. It doesn't matter. The fact is the facts. Be fair. And guys, if you ever have a woman talking like this, things that don't make sense, being a contradiction, having a woman who can barely cook, probably burns toast, you know where she belongs.
She belongs to the streets.